limousines are good.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful info. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware,
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull...
you may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic, remembering the details of a trick.
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put two and two together... Exactly. All right.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The two magic boxes are positioned right above the two entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box...
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was, the audience member would only be able to...
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by... My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already...
And what about Lynette?
I was in the mezzanine space in the...
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow,
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box, and then I walk out of the other box in the audience area. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. And yet, to think that someone was able... Could we have a look around? I think we can come...
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That...
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this have...
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Oh, these are the her clothes are here.
Right. And deep. Ugh. This is so confusing.
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for...
Whatever it is. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through...
They believe the odds. The guards have checked the area.
So the tunnels become like a secret
No wonder...
In other words,
charges and then...
That's right. This is how a trial goes. That's right. This is the statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimony. To put it simply,
this also precludes any kind of favoritism.
once both sides have finished speaking, then, finally, the...
Huh?
In practice, there is... yes.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act...
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, and even if that were not...
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a...
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. I mean, what better way to properly think through our...
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't... Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best.
What do you mean, no snacks?
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet...
I have eggs, sugar, and...
Good work, you two.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself! Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything!
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging...
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere, that fancy. Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats.
Tea is ready to be served as well. No need for concern. I merely...
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of... However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confinement. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was what?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of... Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd...
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically...
Could Halsey have...
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guards...
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an... Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty, after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they...
All right, we get it. Well, Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No, we're already very...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up. And that was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence, but don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience...
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your... You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began.
Yes, that's...
In that case, I call upon the...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the...
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that...
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thought.
Huh?
Hey,
Yeah, I'm sure he could.
I was right by the box and I
look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You know, of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundation... Tell me, aren't you...
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something.
So the serial disappearances...
I've got a feeling that what happened on...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord. Good thing I made all those preparations.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to read first. When the thud was heard in the... Are these claims true? Please answer my...
I'm sorry. Yes.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the set.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good...
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is their...
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after... In that case, my dear audience, let's...
Well, this is awkward. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Vatui, but our organization is...
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure I knew if it weren't for our respective... That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie. The truth is very important, but being... Right. So, you be the judge. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am...
Sorry. Please forget.
well, you both say that, but right. Let's hear your answer first, and no.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it happened. During our investigations, we learned that the machines... From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnels.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown... After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course.
That's the only way we can...
So, there you have it. It was never my wish to... But, like I said earlier...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusation, huh? Oh, Paimon
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he did not realize that the sound... Finally, he used the vase to knock her out. At this time, Cowell arrived, so Linney proceeded to knock. Afterward, Linney passed the... And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to
Key to refuting Lady... Seems this won't... Seems...
According to Linny, he... Linny went to the room that contains... Linny did not...
Attention! Aced it when the countdown started, but he immediately used a vent to access. Once he reached that area, the crime scene had... Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was... Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners.
Oh, well, your denial is... Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you act... You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it? Could there have been a third The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact,
Oh, is that so? How interesting! What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The sound we heard may have come from a clash. No one entered or left.
No one entered or left the opera house. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Halsey's clothing was in the... The deceased's name is Cowell. The sound we heard may have come from a cloud. No one entered or left the The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was... It would have been tough for both...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end...
If only we knew how Halsey does.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only... And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard The deceased's name is The vase was not broken by chance.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing If there's a similar...
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical... We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are the primordial seed. The note's contents also indicate that the notebook has many entries. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese. The notes also state that, as such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact...
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting... Just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust...
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic. Guards, please Mr. Linney, it appears you're...
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case is...
Right! Like the metal hook! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial...
was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within... The water from the primordial sea should... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for... The rope that strung the water tank up was lit... The deceased's name is Cowl, Lynette was in the magic box on... The deceased's name is Cowl, The rope that strung the water... I remember there was some... Lynette was in the magic box... Now it seems like the hook...
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine! In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the... When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cowl's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, I shall now invite him on stage to share it with...
Thank you, Your Honor. We found...
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how does this not clear? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow... Linny did not need to take part in the... Having made modifications to that upon his... Ultimately, he not... Now, as much as I... Am I right, Miss...
We've used up all the evidence. Is this the end of...
Oh no! Paimon can't think of any... seems using the...
I think we've all... I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not... Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject!
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on, don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick, one that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic, once everyone believes the illusion. Can't magic reveal the truth? And wouldn't Wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di but as the magic makers and stars of the show,
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so, I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me.
that'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
What? What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the
Hey! No wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing... I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective. The string... The flower vase was not... Lillian was a...
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt it. He did not know that Lillian was mistakenly believing that the two broke the flower vase during the struggle, with no way of escaping. She knew that she would have to go through...
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So...
At this point, all the events that have...
so bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak? Please answer the question.
What? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat.
Wow! Look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, with some modifications to the selector, to cover up any evidence while committing the deed, He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian, thinking that the waters had not yet. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and Lillian according to her own statement. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the... From this reconstruction of events... While there is much in Linny and Lillian's... This case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared...
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, how did you find the water from...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's note... I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen...
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one...
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been therefore you would be wise.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered it can also be made into a... We've been in this business for a while now.
And now he can no longer...
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again, I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior... As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the...
A knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering... Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I, to survive, I took my sister through several... To my surprise... Before long, an aristocrat.
So you went from orphan?
That was how we felt at first, too. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
After one particular... I waited a long... The answer he gave me...
Oh no. But...
As far as outsiders are concerned, I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that... All I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my father. The House of the Hearth welcomes you. I was hesitant, but she was also quick to
Oh... So that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth?
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sari.
So, she believes...
That's right. The whole House of the... Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are, to us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family.
So, from small D...
It's alright. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have... If you should need anything at all in the future...
Bye, Linny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us now?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting... Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given...
Ah, I see. Sorry.
Don't say that, Navi.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new water. Wait,
Huh?
Well, Anyway, it would just be a meal.
You don't have to
Oh, wonder...
All right, then. Let's have our